What's up? It's Luke, and GameStop is now officially transitioning to become a Bitcoin treasury company. More on that after this. Get ready. The largest event of the year is coming to Las Vegas. The Bitcoin Conference 2025 is an event you cannot miss. I attended last year as a student and had a blast connecting with fellow Bitcoiners, learning from workshops, and hearing from the industry leaders in the Bitcoin space. I loved it so much that this year I've partnered up to get you guys a sweet deal. Use my code WINS at checkout or click the link in the description for 10% off your tickets. Thanks again for supporting the channel, and I can't wait to meet many of you there. Again, use code WINS or click the link in the description to secure your spot at the one and only Bitcoin conference. Now, let's get back to the news. GameStop rallied for one day, and then investors chose to sell off instead of doing their homework on Bitcoin. But this does not take away from the fact that long-term, adopting Bitcoin will save GameStop. And like I said, on Tuesday, for their earnings, they also announced that they are updating their investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. This is something that I have been predicting on this channel for a few months now. It was pretty obvious, even if you just went to Ryan Cohen's following on X, it was Bitcoin, Bitcoin Magazine, and GameStop. So this was fairly obvious. He was also posting with Michael Saylor, and Michael Saylor actually, now that it's official, reposted this photo saying, "Welcome to Team Bitcoin." He also used the GameStop meme, but instead swapped it out for Bitcoin and said, "Let the game begin." So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And people were theorizing that they would use their $4.6 billion of cash on hand to make a large purchase. But instead, they actually opted to raise $1.3 billion through the use of convertible notes. They can borrow at 0%, and these notes will mature on April 1st, 2030. This is straight out of the strategy playbook, so it's clear that they are taking notes. Now, if you want to get more details on how these notes actually work, Ben Workman is the guy to go to. He has helped me understand how the notes worked for strategy and why there's demand for products like this. But now there's more demand than ever. There's even an ETF called the Corporate Treasury Convertible Bond ETF, sold by Rex Shares, that is buying up all of the bonds that these companies issue and is offering it as an index. So this is very interesting, and it means that there's appetite for products like this. Here's Saylor saying BMAX primarily consists of strategy convertible bonds. There's a few others. There's Mara and Riot. But if GameStop were to start issuing their own, they would definitely get included in this index right here. So the issue of having enough demand for these products is just FUD, and there is plenty of demand. And the other thing is there is also a Bitcoin Standard Corporation's ETF offered by Bitwise. All you have to do to get passive flows is have over 1,000 Bitcoin. And obviously, the more Bitcoin the company holds, the more percentage of allocation that the fund gives them. So right now, it's Strategy, Mara, CleanSpark, and then Riot are the top four. So this is very appealing to a company like GameStop, who right now isn't in any indexes of any real worth. But as these ETFs grow, they will get passive flows. And if you get in early, like GameStop is right now, you can get a higher position, a higher allocation, and more passive flows. So this is very appealing for GameStop. And getting second place would actually be very easy. Even Strategy is pointing this out, saying Mara might have some competition soon. And he posts a chart with Strategy at 506,000 Bitcoin. And then the next closest is Mara at only 46,000. So they could easily buy this. They could do this basically overnight using the cash that they have. But I also just think this is impressive and shows how far ahead of the industry Strategy really is. They've had no real competition up until now. And some might be wondering, okay, there's demand for the bonds. I get it. They want to get into these indexes and use Bitcoin to weaponize their balance sheet. That's fine. Why would I invest in GameStop when Strategy can do it at a faster rate? Well, here's Walker laying out what's going to happen. GameStop buys $5 billion worth of Bitcoin, changes its name to BStop, and installs Bitcoin ATMs at all of its stores worldwide. Then they become the #1 place to buy and sell non-KYC Bitcoin. They generate ATM fee revenue, and this surpasses their traditional game sales revenue. Now, obviously, this is a joke, but I think this does highlight the key difference between Strategy and GameStop. They have physical stores, so there's a lot more they actually can do. They can accept Bitcoin, and like he said, they could put in Bitcoin ATMs and generate a fee off of that. Who knows? We're going to have to follow Ryan Cohen. And I would just say, if you are new to Bitcoin and have been in the GameStop space, do not be frightened by this strategy. It is time to study up. There is so much content about Bitcoin now. It's been battle tested for 15 years and has come out ahead every time. You should take this opportunity to do your homework because this play is going to work for GameStop. It's worked for Strategy and they have paved the way. They have already tested the markets. They already know which products there's demand for. So for GameStop, it's easier than ever. And if you want to stay up to date with news about Strategy, GameStop, or Bitcoin, I just ask that you subscribe.